Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, welcome to another fantastic and fabulous Ask Engineer. We're broadcasting live from the Adafruit factory warehouse.
Yeah, we're in the shipping department.
In the shipping department, you can see the bins of postal mail that we have.
That's right.
We are here in Soho.
We ship physical things for a living. We're proud of it.
Yeah, you don't have to convince me.
Yeah.
We got an exciting show for you tonight. I'm Lady Ada, I'm the engineer. With me is Phil.
Yeah.
On camera control.
I'm just going to make a bunch of noise.
Making a lot of noise.
All right.
Tell them what's on tonight's show.
On tonight's show, the code is makerfaire. We are not there, but we are there in spirit. We'll be talking about the show and tell. We'll be talking about makerfaire past, present, and future. New things in the world of makers. Big things in the world of Arduino and open source hardware. We'll discuss new Arduinos. Update of the Adafruit Learning System. Winners of the Adafruit 6-Second Film Festival. Wearable Wednesday. 3D Thursday, Pi Day, news about the Web IDE, new products. We'll answer your questions. We'll have a trivia question, all that and more on Ask an Engineer.
All right.
That's a show.
That is a show.
That's a show.
Okay.
All right. So first up, let's pay some bills. Code's makerfaire, 10% off everything in stock in the Adafruit store. Use the code makerfaire. So makerfaire is going on right now.
Right at this second.
Right now we have many friends out there right now. We wish we could be there. We just actually can't. It's hard for us to leave.
We went last year.
We went last year. When we were leaving last year, we had to take Virgin, the flight, because we needed to be in a plane that had Wi-Fi, because the lawyers and the brokers and the place that we're currently in, where everybody was going back and forth, and once they say it's okay, you have to kind of sign right away, dealing with our bank, dealing with everybody to make sure everything is in place. So we're actually signing the lease in the air.
Yeah.
And we were basically able to close Adafruit, this factory that we're at.
Yeah.
And that started the whole let's do a build out. We had to turn this place into a factory.
Yeah.
It's zoned for manufacturing, but that's just the start of it.
Yeah.
You know, we have to run all this special electricity. We have to make sure everything's code compliant. We have to get all these experts, general contractors, electricians, plumbers, everything.
It was a mess. It was a nightmare from which we have awoken.
It wasn't a nightmare. It's just one of those things that normally there's lots of people involved, and it's not just on the shoulders of a couple people.
Yeah.
But we're very hands-on.
There's a lot of work. It was exhausting, but the outcome was great.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did it that way. I mean, I know it would have been easier to just like hire someone and been like, I hope you get it going right. But like we're here every week, like 2 or 3 times a week, checking in. We made sure that the construction went well.
Yeah, they said that they said to me, no one's ever gone to every single construction meeting, been here, and like I was here like a lot, so it was running Adafruit at our old place, all the things that I have to do on a daily basis, and then running over here, and then working with all the folks. We have to approve architecture plans. Big build out. Yeah. Very complicated. New York is the hardest city to build stuff.
There's a lot of rules.
Lots of permits you have to get. Lots of things. But we did it. So that was a year ago. So this year, we just got the pick and place machine. Adafruit is still going strong. It's just we couldn't leave for an extended period of time. Last year we were at the Hardware Innovation Workshop and makerfaire. This year we tuned in.
We did double duty. We did 2 events.
We tuned in this year. Fantastic event, and we have some folks on the ground and lots of Adafruit friends at makerfaire. So for the folks that are watching this in the future, thank you. So that's our thing.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the show and tell. Show and tell was massive tonight. It was awesome. So you want to talk about what was on show and tell?
Yeah, we had 3 lovely people show up. Isaac showed up for the first time with his DIY radio telescope that he made out of repurposed dish, like a TV dish, and he got a down converter, and then he got like an audio converter, another down converter. So he's converting like 10 to 15 gigahertz down to like audio frequencies, and then he's gonna put it on like some gimbal thing, and there's gonna be like a ball screw, and then he's gonna like scan the sky, and he's gonna make it into like a cool image. I don't know. It got complicated.
Yeah, I love the idea of a DIY radio telescope, and there's it's just super cool. Super cool. Yeah. An old direct TV dish, and he's making something.
Okay. Pardon me. I'm not bored. I'm just really tired. Okay, next up, Justin showed up with another e-ink reader project. He made a more complicated reader that could load images, like with dithering, and there's an SD card as a buffer, and it's just awesome. Check it out. Like, it can draw images anywhere. It's pretty fast, so that's really cool. People who have our e-ink display breakouts, please check that out. And then Chris Courtwright came back, and it was Silent Chris with a K, but he showed us his project, and it was really cool. It was a wand, a 3D printed waterproof NFC shield holder cover thing, so that like the user of the horse tack scanning system he's building for his horse farm, they can like pick it up and hold it to the saddle to check out.
Yeah, it's actually beautiful. It press fit in nicely.
Yeah, it
had a
was
little Adafruit logo. When you scan it, there's a light and it'll turn different color.
Yeah, there was this LED in it, as one of our waterproof LEDs, and it would like, I guess it'll turn green when it scans.
Yeah, and that's and he made it specifically for the Adafruit RFID breakout board.
It's so cool.
Super cool.
I hope he puts on Thingiverse so we'll post it out.
Yeah. No, we'll print one out here. We have a.
That would be neat.
Yeah,
I'd like to do that.
We have a MakerBot.
We could scan all of our horse tack.
Yeah. Not a lot of people know we ride a horse to work. All right.
I'm on a horse right now.
As seen on the show and tell. Anyone who's on the show and tell gets a show and tell sticker. Email support@adafruit.com. If you've been on the show and tell, we will send you out a sticker. One of my favorite things in the world is people get a sticker and then they take a photo of the thing on the sticker. And then
I like when they show up and they're like, I'm showing another project,
and
but
then
here's
they
my first
these.
project with my sticker on it.
Yeah. Little known fact: Chris Courtwright is actually made out of show and tell stickers.
He's just chock full of them.
Yeah, we've watched his projects evolve over time. So
does the most advanced 3D print, and like I watch like 3D printing like kind of not as a passion but as a hobby.
Yeah.
By far, he is the most efficient 3D printer.
He's getting more out of the MakerBot than most people he's actually making like production level stuff that works. He's making stuff
on his replicator that is better than stuff I've seen that comes out of like object printers or like Stratasys printers.
Yeah.
Like really expensive ones. He makes better stuff.
Yeah. No, it's cool. All right.
Okay.
So that's our compressor's going on.
Go compressor.
All right. Lady Ada, how do people get on the show and tell?
Super easy. Go to our Google Plus page at plus.google.com/+Adafruit, and then look at that really weird interface that Google just came out with. It looks like Pinterest. It's unusual, but somehow find the post where we say, hey, comment here, and we can add you to the circle for the show and tell. Find that post somewhere in this Pinterest maze. Comment there. We'll add you to the circle, and then you'll be invited every week at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time to show off your project at Show and Tell, and you can add yourself now, and you'll be invited every week in the future, so that's kind of handy in case you just skip a week or you don't know when your project's going to be done.
All right, next up. It is Maker Faire time. That's what we wanted to talk about.
World Maker Faire. No, wait, World Maker Faire is New York. This is just Maker Faire.
Yeah, this is Maker Faire that's going on right now.
Maker Faire's actually going on for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that noise in the background. We are in a factory. That noise in the background is our compressor that goes to our
big ass compressor.
It is a large compressor.
It is a 50-gallon compressor.
Yeah, and it's for our Samsung pick and place.
It's actually a little bit of overkill. We didn't need but it's nice.
If you're placing 28,000 components per hour, you don't want to have enough air.
It only goes off like 2 or 3 times a day, which is kind of nice. Because our old compressor would kick in like every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we were using the pick and place so much. Anyways.
That's true. Okay. So
this is a solid compressor.
So right now at Maker Faire is Dragon. This is a photo that Make posted today.
Phil B. He's got nice horns.
Yeah. And then what I wanted to do, Lady Ada, is go to Maker Faire past.
What?
So Maker Faire, the first one was in 2006. I was one of the people help running it.
Me too.
And
I didn't even intend to help run it. Yeah. They were like really short-staffed.
You were co-opted.
I was co-opted.
But here's a photo of you in 2006. Look at you.
Yes.
Young Lady Ada. And then here's a photo of Bree and I from Maker Faire in 2006.
That's like Teen Bree.
Yeah, and so the story with this is Bree was a school teacher in Seattle, and I was trying to convince Dale to let me hire him to do videos for us. And so Bree came out to Maker Faire. This is when he was actually working for Make, and now he's the CEO of MakerBot.
Yeah.
Interesting story.
He's a mogul.
And then here's a photo of you and I from 2006. Someone had one of those weird infrared camera things. So that's Maker Faire in pictures from people you know.
That's right. That's
Very
old
cool.
Maker Faire.
Yeah. All right. So upcoming events with Make and Maker Faire.
Yeah, there's other Maker
Yeah, the
Fairs.
World Maker Faire is September 21st. Maker Faire Rome is October 3rd. Maker Faire Kansas City is June 28th, and Maker Faire Detroit is July 27th. So that's a bunch of Make events
That's right.
that are coming to your area.
We're likely to go to the World Maker Faire if we're in town. If we're not called out of town,
Yeah.
we'll try to make it.
Yep.
Whenever we're in town, we definitely go.
Yep. So next up, speaking of news in the maker world, today, and like, I guess it hit the Wall Street Journal. We posted it up on the Adafruit blog. This is part of the maker business section.
Yeah.
I guess I need a suit for this or something. But it's interesting to watch the movement in the maker world. So Make has spun off from O'Reilly.
That's
They're a
right.
startup.
Yeah.
Looking for funding, looking to maybe sell the company one day, who knows? And now they're a standalone business, their own thing. So Radio Shack and Make teamed up, and there's going to be Make branded kits, from what I understand, inside Radio Shack. So it'll have electronic packs, kits, whatever, and it'll be Make branded. So this is a big deal. It's a big deal. Radio Shack, who historically was a DIY provider of electronics, moved more towards the cell phone and kind of PCs for a bit, drifting back now to putting some emphasis on the maker world and using a brand like Make.
Yeah.
So this is interesting for the folks who watch the maker business stuff. So some of our products are in Radio Shack.
Yeah, we make a produce kit.
via Make and via Arduino. So we have that little micro with our logo on our piston cans.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then you have Seed has some stuff in there. Parallax has some stuff in there. Make has some stuff in there. And then Radio Shack has their own stuff in there. And then some of the older things are kind of getting pushed out. The Velleman stuff you see not so much. They're kind of emptying it out.
Yeah.
And Velleman was kind of the kit maker before the maker movement kind of took off in the last 10 years. They were the only game in town.
Yeah.
They had the Blinky Christmas tree, and they actually sent us a mean cease and desist because we said we would not ever sell Blinky Christmas trees.
We still to this day do not sell blinking Christmas trees.
Yeah, and then we had to send them
That's our
a
promise.
letter back. Yeah, that's our promise. We won't sell. We won't
Promise.
sell. Yeah, and our lawyer was very puzzled because I normally don't hear people go after people for saying they won't sell their product, but we
I
just
wasn't
said
saying it was bad. I was saying we're not going to sell it.
we will never sell blinking Christmas trees.
No.
Never.
You'll never see it here.
Yep.
You want blinking Christmas trees? You got to go elsewhere.
Yeah. So, anyways, so that's news in the maker world. More news in the maker world. Our friend came out with a book. Wendy.
Yes.
Good.
Wendy
Life
and
Lab.
Mikey Sklar, who is awesome, who's written many tutorials on the learning
That's right.
system.
So Wendy's book, The Good Life Lab, is about their experience, like kind of leaving New York City and starting this like kind of DIY homestead life. And really good book, great story. We visited them in Truth or Consequences in New Mexico. They're building kind of like an off-the-grid.
Yeah, the cool thing is she's
Self-sustaining
really
thing.
into she's really into gardening and cooking and like architecture kind of design and beekeeping and stuff. And Mikey's an engineer, so it's really cool. Like he's like, you know, here's a battery desulfurator I made for our solar grid because they have like a solar panel grid because they're completely off the power grid. They use solar panels for all their power needs because they're in New Mexico. And like, you know, he's building and maintaining all of the systems.
Yeah,
Like,
and he has some products that he made that was built around what he's doing for all these batteries.
yeah,
The
like
diesel for them
he's
or
like,
something
I'm
like
doing
that.
this. Like he's like, I have to do this and I have to do it right because he's living like if their battery pack and he uses only used he didn't even buy any of the batteries. I think he got them all from like the local car repair place. They're like these are bad batteries. He's like, well, you can repair them, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. You have to do this current voltage spike thing and to get the sulfur out. And but he did it, and he has like 20 batteries, and that's what they're using for all their power needs. So it's really neat. So check out this book.
Okay, next up, some news. We're sponsoring the Tulsa School of Dev. Patrick is doing a really cool talk about making a robot with Raspberry Pi. At the end of the talk, they're going to give away some of our 16-channel PWM servo drivers that are used a lot in robotics.
People love those things.
Yeah. So I wanted to give some shout outs for that. It's May 30th. Next up, we're sponsoring a conference in Toronto. This is June 8th, and this is the Future Innovation Technology and Creativity Conference. I know one of the organizers from a really long time back when I used to write software that goes with Macromedia Flash and some of the server-side stuff. It's called Generator, and it would make like graphs and data-driven graphics. And Sean runs it, and he sent an email, and it's always great to see someone from the past is still doing cool stuff. And he said, hey, we have a hardware track. And is there anything Adafruit can do? And I said, what's the hardware track? Is we got Raspberry Pi, we got Google Glass things we're going to talk about. And I go, we got Flora. So folks at this event, they're going to give away 10 Floras, and we're helping them get the word out with this. So if you're in Toronto,
cool.
check it out. It's the FITC event. Good event with creative folks. Adafruit news. Lady Ada, you're in the New York Times tomorrow. Actually, your desk is.
I am actually not in it at all.
Yeah, your desk is, and the New York Times interviewed you about your work style, how you work, and your messy engineering desk. You've called it messy, so it's not just me picking on it.
It is messy.
Yeah, and they took photos of your desk.
They did.
Yeah, and what's interesting is your shoes are in. Your shoes are going to be in the business section.
Yeah, I don't know why they were so excited about my sandals. Like, I keep a pair of sandals in my desk in case I want to walk around in sandals.
Yeah.
And they were like totally obsessed with that, and I'm like, I come in with like sneakers or boots. Sometimes I want to just walk around in sandals.
Yeah, for the keen-eyed observer, if you look really close, you'll see some unreleased Adafruit products.
There are a bunch of.
Yeah, we actually just said, they're like, hey, do you have anything you don't want anyone to see? And we're like, you know what? Who cares?
The only thing that they misidentified is they thought that my wire strippers were calipers. I do use my wire strippers a lot, but they're not my calipers. There is a pair of calipers I use a lot, but they just didn't know. But that's the only thing. Otherwise, it was a pretty good. And there's a Flora tester.
Yeah.
I was making a Flora tester that day.
So now your desk is starting to get some exposure.
Okay.
So your desk is going to need an agent or something like that. All right. Next up, packet, mailbag. We get letters, lots and lots of letters. Here is a letter from a customer. When we get these letters in, we put them into the mailbag. On the mailbag, it says, I'm just an old guy getting started learning Arduino and all the interesting things that people are doing with them. Your products look so very useful, and I plan on purchasing several. I really like your tutorials. Good, efficient format, good information, nicely done. Very much appreciated.
Oh, you're welcome, see?
We get letters.
Okay.
All right, next up, more Adafruit news. Big news this week. This was a hard thing. So Google has a trusted store program.
Oh yeah,
we're now part of it. If you go to Adafruit.com, there's a little badge on the right-hand side, and
this is like 6 months in the making.
More, and you can mouse over it, and it says Google Trusted Store. When you mouse over it, it'll say over 20,000 transactions as a Google Trusted Store. A, reliable shipping, that's the grade. A, excellent service, that's the grade. 99% on-time shipping, 1-day shipping average. 99% issue-free orders. Fast issue resolution. So what we had to do is prove over 20,000 times how fast we ship, that we have no problems. This was intense. This took forever. This is something I don't think anyone's going to want to do, because like, why would you want to prove something like that? So we had to make sure our shipping was super fast. We have the highest possible rating.
Yeah.
So that means when someone places an order, we have to prove how fast we ship.
And it's not just Google, not just using Google Checkout. It's for everybody.
It's for everybody.
Yeah.
And so we did it. They gave us the word, congratulations, you're a Google Trusted Store. So that means when you're shopping around and you have to make a decision, will I get the best service and support? Do I know my order will ship fast? Do I trust that this company is like going to be around and like they're willing to like prove that they're in it for the long term? This is one of the things that you can use to determine that. I try to seek out stores. For instance, we use Newegg, and Newegg is a Google Trusted Store.
Yeah.
And like they have like over 2 million transactions.
Well, they do a lot.
So,
and what's interesting about the Google Trusted Stores is also if you use because it's Google Trusted Store, if you do use Google Wallet on checkout, there's added insurance.
Yeah.
Although like we take care of every order, we've never had a problem. We always refund or replace orders if there's any issue. But there's this additional protection from Google.
Yeah. In
that weird chance that I don't know.
And I'll tell you, like,
catch on fire.
As a couple people who run a business, this was really hard to do. We didn't have to do it, but it helps us test our company to see how well we do.
Yeah.
We love shipping fast. We do our show in front of the shipping section. We're shipping geeks.
Bubble wrap.
UPS is coming here to film something very soon with us because of the volume that we're shipping out. So some days we ship out 1,000 things.
Orders.
Yeah.
Ship out 2,000 things. What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Easily.
Yeah, like 1,000 packages go out the door.
Yeah.
So we're really into this. So we think it's neat. So as you think about electronics or any type of store, if someone is doing advertising or saying they've got best deals, look at some of these things to see how you rate the other stores.
Yeah.
We did it. We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
That was hard work. Next up, massive news. We're gonna spend some time on this. Arduino was issuing press releases. They got a lot of stuff going on. So first up in the Arduino world that everyone should know about is, excuse me,
Arduino.
1.05 IDE is out now.
That is right.
Yep.
And it has many suggestions that we've been cheering on for. There's a Windows installer. There are signed drivers. Yay.
Yeah.
There is a library importing tool that is very nice because we no longer have to say, find your sketchbook. No, not there. It's different on every operating system.
Take a zip file and zip it and basically
unzip it. You have to make the folder. It doesn't exist. You have to name it. You can't put a capital letter
Signed
in
drivers, Windows installer. By the way, this was our wish list for a really long time.
Yeah, we asked them for 3 years for this, and so this is really great that they got to it.
When part of the Arduino team was here, they promised us this would be out by June 1st, and you know what? They did it.
They did it.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
This is hard to do. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
This has been stuff that people have wanted for a really long time.
This will really help cut down support.
Yeah.
Because we don't mind helping people, but it's kind of sad when we have to help them with the fact that the drivers aren't signed, and I can't sign them. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. Next up, new column on Make. This is something I wanted to run at Make, but it just, Massimo is busy. It's hard to get people to spend time on writing. So Massimo is now doing a new column at Make. Ken, who is formerly of Geek Dad, is now the editorial director for Magazine. Him and Massimo are working up this thing. It's Make the Future with Arduino by Massimo. Every month, article about Arduino.
With Massimo.
on Make.
Massimo!
Yeah. Next up, big news, and this involves Adafruit. Arduino bot.
Arduino bot.
Announced.
We do not have one.
Yeah,
I have no idea anything about it. I have no details. I don't know how much it costs. I don't know how much power it uses. I don't even know.
No one knows the price of this yet.
I know nothing about it.
Yeah, at Maker Shed, I think they had like 20 or something, and they're selling them. I'm trying to find out more information to figure out how much they are. As soon as these are available, we'll get them. One of the reasons is Arduino used our library, and they have an LCD shield that's based on ours.
Yeah.
And we like that because we made one. And so we know this stuff works.
Yeah.
So when you look at the press release, it talks about Arduino including our library in this release, which we really appreciate. So it's easier for us when customers use this to say, oh, I can just use, I've already done stuff with this shield or this thing. So that's the bot. So what we don't know is pricing. And as someone pointed out in the chat, the shield works on the bot. And it works on the Explora. And then next up, maybe you could explain this thing. This is the.
I think actually also our TFT breakout will work on these too. I think it's the same pinout because somebody was showing how they adapted it.
Yeah. So. And then this just got announced right before we started the show. This is really interesting. This is the Arduino Yun.
Yun.
Yeah. And it's maybe you can explain. It's Linux plus Arduino. Maybe you can take it away.
Yeah, I actually, I don't know more than what I saw, but what it seems to me is it's actually like the same chip that's used in a router, like a Wi-Fi router, is under that metal can. And I don't know what the chip is, but it's some Linux running software, and it's basically the same software that's in a router, so it's meant to boot fast, and you don't actually run code on the Linux machine, as far as I can tell. What happens is that there is an Atmel3224, like a Leonardo chip on there, and then you can communicate to, you have like a terminal, I guess, that you connect to the Wi-Fi chip on it, and so you can send it commands, and so it can do like Ethernet and Wi-Fi without, I don't see an antenna. I guess the antenna is probably in the back. There's a Wi-Fi antenna. So you can send commands. So it's sort of like tying like an Arduino to a router, like a low-cost router, but it's all in one and it has Arduino headers. And there's also Ethernet. Other than that, I don't know too much about it. It's kind of interesting. It's a collaboration with a Boston company called like Dog Hunter or something.
Dog Hunter, yeah. Here's what's interesting, I think, is the movement towards embedded Linux.
Yeah.
Across the board for all of the hobbyist professional markets.
Yeah.
So you got a BeagleBone, you got a Raspberry Pi for education, you got BeagleBone Black, you got BeagleBoard, you got this Arduino Yun.
Yeah.
And
then there's tons of the A10 boards, like QB board and stuff too. And
the idea that you're going to be running Linux to do a lot of stuff, and then combining it with some of the ease of use of Arduino is kind of powerful. So we'll see. This one, there was pricing. It's supposed to be $65.
Okay, no, it's
And
69.
$69
Yeah.
plus tax, whatever. And,
Yeah.
I guess everything's subject to change, but
Yeah.
that's what we do know.
Yeah.
So this is a big deal. Big announcements for Arduino. They
But I also don't have one of these.
Yeah.
The only details is from like my guessing and looking at that photo carefully.
yeah. The press release just went out at like 7 p.m. today.
Yeah.
I think they were leading up to Maker Faire.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Massimo did a state of Arduino. Yeah. Okay.
State Duino.
Next up,
Okay.
Adafruit Learning System.
We had updates.
We had an update. One update, but it's big. Big update. Single page scrolling. So I'll tell you about this.
If you don't want multiple pages,
Yeah, so I'm going to hop over to the Learning System real quick. If you go over to the Learning System, and this is fun. You're like, I'm gonna like read this thing about these glowing shoes. I love these cool glowing shoes. I'll click next, and I'll do this.
but you're just so tired.
But you're like, you know what?
This sucks. I hate clicking on pages.
You're like, I don't want to do step by step. I'm a single page kind of person. So now we have single page function. Whole thing on one page.
That's nice.
As always, PDFs automatically generated and printed. That's risky, right? Because I'm doing it live. I'm showing people live. Like, what if that didn't work? That would have been really silly. So beautiful PDFs print out, and you're all set. So single page, big update, big
Thanks,
deal.
Justin Tyler.
Big update, big deal, and
On Learning System.
On Learning
The
System.
best way to learn electronics on the internet.
How many tutorials do we have, lady? 225 and counting.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Glad you
that's
asked.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say up to 250. I'm taking a tutorial break. I'm doing a lot of hardware design right
Yeah.
now. I'll get back to tutorials shortly.
Okay. Things stuck in my throat tonight. Next up, the Adafruit 6-second contest is over. There's winners.
If you wanted to enter, you can't anymore.
Yeah, last week we had Mike.
We even announced winners.
We had Mike on the show, Mike Dole, and we didn't get a chance to show the winners.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that now. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the winner of the 6-second contest. All you had to do is do a little film that was 6 seconds. So we have a grand prize winner, $600 in the Adafruit store.
That's nice.
$600. You want to see? You want to see?
Yes.
Check the playground. And that video earned the maker $600, and the maker also made the papercraft version of Adabot, so anyone can download.
That's
it.
kind of what pushed it over the
Yeah.
edge. There's the papercraft printout.
Yeah. Next up,
Sweet.
one of the winners. This is $60 winner. This is the Polar Droid. This is a Polaroid robot. All right. You know what's fun about this? I'm gonna be able to show all these films. All right. Here's a Vine.
I like this robot. This is
Yeah.
really cute. So this uses a mouse sensor to follow the hand.
Yeah, isn't it cute? It's like a little Pixar bot.
It's so cute.
Yeah. Some of these you gotta watch twice. Here's another one. This is another Vine. This is the pumpkin Tetris. So you play Tetris with the pumpkin.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So we had hundreds of entries. These are the winners. Here's another one. I like this one. This is a IBM Selectronic automated device to print tweets. Really cool. Here's another one. This is a crazy robot. And that's it. And then here's another one. Electric Monsters. This uses Sugru. Or Ross.
I saw a little guy running around.
And then here's our staff winner. Everyone on staff was making stuff, and this is building a kit.
And you wave out.
And that was Tyler. So Tyler got the winning staff entry with that. So that is the Adafruit 6-second contest. That's what we did. Cool stuff. All right, next up, we've got more stuff.
We have more stuff?
Yeah, it's Wearable Wednesday time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Every Wednesday we celebrate things in the wearable world.
That's right. And do a project.
Yeah. Speaking of Chris Courtwright, he posted this up. This is his daughter's working on this costume. This was one of the wearable
Wow.
things. This is a costume
That's a
she's
cool
making.
cat.
Yeah. So We don't know more about this other than it's being worked on. And if you check his Google stream, you'll see photos of it, which is really neat. And that goes in our wearable section, which is starting to turn also into like costuming and stuff like that. Big wearable news. If you ever want to learn about wearable electronics and you thought, boy, it'd be great if there was a forum online that I could go and talk to other people doing wearables.
Yeah.
We have one.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so in the adafruit.com/forums or forums.adafruit.com, we now have a new forum just for wearables. Flora, all of our EL panel stuff, anything.
And Becky's heading it up.
Becky's there.
She's the expert in wearables right now.
Yeah, the director of wearable electronics, Becky Stern, is heading up the forum.
If there was a crime that involved wearable electronics, she would be the expert witness.
They have. We also have the support team of Bill, Rick, and Mike.
Yeah.
So let's say if you're like, oh, I want to sew a floor into a thing, and then I want to have all this code do the stuff with the sensor. We have a full team that can help you out when you get your Adafruit stuff. So we got that going now. And speaking of, big project launched this week. This is the glowing Converse project.
Yeah.
So when I was 16 years old, I wore Converse because like that was a million years ago, and they were super cool. And I always wanted to have glowing Converse. And now that we have a electronics factory and we have a Becky Stern and we have access to all this cool stuff.
And that's you.
Yeah. Well, I modeled for this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great to be able to make your own glowing shoes? So.
And you did.
Yeah, we're gonna show a video in a second, but this is the ones that I wore around, and they glow. They're really neat.
And this is the one that you had in the video.
Yeah.
Can you see the glow?
Yeah, you can see the glow. It's bright in here. We have lights
really
on.
bright in here.
But luckily, we have a fantastic video.
Easy to make these glowing chucks with Adafruit's electroluminescent panel and our new tiny inverters. People on the street might think you're from the future, but we'll know that you've just cut a circle of EL panel near where the wire connects, then stuck on a vinyl star and glued the whole thing in place. With the inverter hidden on the tongue of the shoe, your secret is safe with us. Whip up a pair in an afternoon and still have time to practice your moves before you hit the dance floor. Now we want to see the stars in your eyes. Show us your projects in our weekly show and tell on Google+, and subscribe to the Adafruit channel here on YouTube for more Wearable Wednesdays.
Okay.
So that's our Wearable Wednesday. Everyone in chat, tell Becky she did a great job on this video. It's been making the rounds because, you know, Converse is like a brand that everyone knows.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of ripe for reimagining and remaking.
Yep.
And glowing. And so we have these special little tiny inverters. I don't think anyone else has these. And it can power projects.
We got these specifically so you could do this project too.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, 3D Thursday. Every Thursday, tons of 3D projects. This week, one big thing I thought was really interesting. The MakerBot is now in the MoMA store. So you can go to the MoMA store in New York and look at the MakerBots.
I don't think they're for sale, or they're just showing them.
And they're
as
showing
a,
all the stuff you can print out and all the things. So it's just really neat. Like, you know, the new round of manufacturing equipment is ending up in places like MoMA. Is it art, or are we running businesses, or is it manufacturing? What is it?
Yeah.
I think our Samsung should be in a museum one day.
It's really heavy.
Yeah, it's really heavy. But so is like giant bronze.
And you said
statues.
maybe the Minty booth should be in a museum.
I think so. I think it's one of the like the milestones in DIY. You know, like this is a lot of people built a charger for their phone or their device.
It might be the most popular DIY kit, other than blinking Christmas trees.
Yeah.
They should have an exhibit called "Popular DIY Kits Are Not Blinking Christmas Trees."
Yeah. At the new museum, I think they have.
I would pay to go to that event.
So next up, speaking of, so we still have just a few of the Adafruit MakerBot editions in stock, and if you use the coupon makerfaire, it's 10% off. And if you're in the U.S., you get free UPS ground shipping. So that's a pretty good deal.
And you get a whole bunch of stuff with it.
And you get a bunch of stuff with it. So if you're thinking about getting a MakerBot, that's a pretty good deal. In fact, it's kind of too good of a deal. But if you're watching the show, it's okay. So
check it out.
yeah, check it out. All right, next up. community corner. Every single week we post up cool things going on in the Adafruit community. This week, let me hop over to the screen here. Look at all these things going on. So we've got people showing off. This I believe it's a this rubber band machine. It's this pulley machine.
What's going on?
Yeah.
It's a pie.
This is a pie face project. Electronic project here.
Board.
Here's the costume that we went over before.
Lioness.
Here's a here's a bunch of
It's a 3D rendered PCB.
yeah.
With big transistors.
There's a bunch of transistors in there. Here's a this is a reflow with with an inert atmosphere.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So this is like way DIY manufacturing. This is a beagle bone case that someone made. Little robot arm that someone made. Custom wheelbarrow. So all these come mostly from the Adafruit Google Plus community. So if you haven't checked it out, we have over 51,000 people in it, and they're just sharing tons of projects. It's kind of a little hard to go there because once you go there, you kind of get trapped there for a while because you're like, look at all this cool stuff. Here's a little pie plate makey project, LED belts, pie radio, you name it, it's on there right now.
Yeah, that's cool.
So check it out.
Okay.
That's the community corner. All right. Next up,
Okay.
Pi Day. A couple things for Pi Day. Every Friday we post up a ton of things in the world of Pi.
But you're talking
This
about
week,
one thing.
our friend Phenoptics posted up this like mod of our case that fits the Pi camera in it. That was pretty neat. And then
right, yeah.
also going on right now is Google I/O. So Google they made these blimps and they're controlled with Raspberry Pis.
Oh, that's cool.
So Gadget posted up about that. That was pretty neat. Next up, Adafruit Web IDE. Look at this spiffy new graphic, Lady Ada.
Nice.
Yeah. So the Web IDE. Maybe you can explain briefly what it is.
The Web IDE is a way to program in Python, which is a popular programming language to learn programming in. It's really easy to use and it's very powerful. And if you want to use it on something like a BeagleBone or Raspberry Pi, normally you'd have to log in or you'd have to like export a screen or something. It just gets all complicated. And we thought it'd be really neat if you could just log into the Pi and run the IDE right through the web browser. And that's what it is. It's a web browser based programming system, and it's very simple. It's meant for beginners. And it's a really great way to learn how to program and do electronics on a Raspberry Pi or a BeagleBone Black.
Yeah, and that's the biggest update is we made sure that it not only runs on the Raspberry Pi but BeagleBone Black.
Although we're still working on the BeagleBone Black.
BeagleBone Black, a couple things, but it's getting there.
We just like started.
Yeah. So here's I'm not going to show the whole video, but here's the start of a video.
The Adafruit Web IDE is by far the easiest way to run code on your BeagleBone or Raspberry Pi. In this video, I will show you how to install the Web IDE on your BeagleBone. If you are looking for the Raspberry Pi Web IDE installation guide, click the link in the upper right corner of this video now. Let's get started. Go ahead and connect your BeagleBone to your local network with an Ethernet cable and power up your BeagleBone. While your BeagleBone is booting up, let's load the handy installation guide on the Adafruit Learning System. Navigate to learn.adafruit.com/webide in your favorite web browser. In the left sidebar, click on the Installation on
Okay,
BeagleBone.
so watch the whole video, go to the tutorial. If you have a Raspberry Pi, it's a super fun way to learn how to program. Built-in code tree stuff.
Yeah.
All neat. All very cool. Fantastic for kids and workshops. That's where we're seeing a lot of people use it. And if you want to learn how to program, there's GitHub.
GitHub support is added.
Big deal.
Bitbucket's the default.
Yeah.
It allows private repositories, which we suggest.
Yeah, there's only two types of people in the world. People who love the Adafruit Web IDE and people who haven't used it yet. That's all there is.
All right.
Okay, next up, before we go on to new products, the code is makerfaire. Sending out our wishes and good thoughts, everyone at makerfaire. We're not there, so we're gonna do code. All right, Lady Ada, same product time.
Okay.
New products. All right. This is in the shop, sort of. We're still waiting for one last thing, but this is the Mbed ARM Xivli launch, and this is basically just a pack that plugs into what used to be called Cosm, and now it's Xivli.
They've changed names.
They changed names. And
We'll have this. Sign up, but we'll have it soon.
Yeah.
We're waiting for them to send us some
Yeah.
stuff.
Next up, this was a new product in the store, but it sold out instantly, and we're not going to have any for like 10 weeks. The pie camera.
Okay.
You can show it.
Yeah, show it off.
Let me just get these photos that John Janier took. Nice photos. But yeah, we got them in, and we sold them out, and then that was it.
Okay,
I might have to get a little closer to the camera there.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Hold on. It's freaking out. I can want to work at this distance. It just doesn't like it.
There you go.
So this is the Pi camera. So it's actually a camera module from like a cell phone or something. And it's mounted on this PCB and it has some mounting holes on it. And yeah, it's just the modules here. And like you can't really do much with the module itself. You usually could remove it. On the back, there's some circuitry just to support. There's a timing crystal and maybe some, you know, like capacitors and stuff just to get running. And then it has a flex PCB cable. And this PCB cable plugs into the top of the Pi. There's two connectors. One is for the LCD, which is unreleased, we don't know anything about. One is for this camera, which they finally got out. But unfortunately, they're severely back ordered on. So I don't know when we'll get more.
Yeah.
But we have one. Yay. Go camera.
Yeah. We had some in the store and they just evaporated. The second we put them in, they sold out. So
Yeah.
it's the way it goes in the Pi world. All right. Next up, BeagleBone Blacks. They are in stock right now. There's still a few left. We've had BeagleBones Blacks in stock twice. Sold out each time. We put them in stock on Friday. There's still some left. You get 10% off tonight. So they're in there if you want them in the store right now. Next up, we had an update to our budget pack.
This is the Raspberry Pi budget pack, and there's not much to show, so I'll just talk about the photo. It's basically the exact same budget pack, same great stuff, except we've updated the case to be our snap together case instead of an acrylic case, because it's a better case, and we think it fits the Pi much better. And we also took some nice new photos, and that's pretty much it. So it's just updated.
Yeah. Next up.
J-Link.
What is this thing?
This is a JTAG adapter. So if you're writing code for ARM chips that use JTAG, or like ARM Cortex chips that use SWD, you'll need a debugger. So this is a debugger, and it has USB on one end, and then it comes with a cable even, yay. And on the other end is kind of the classic, 20-pin JTAG cable, and there's adapters available if you don't have the exact, JTAG connector on there. This allows you to set breakpoints, debug your program, see variables, basically like a GDB but for hardware.
Okay.
So this is the tool that you would use that would interface. And what's nice about this is it supports like every compiler. It's like very agnostic.
Can you use this with like any boards that people are familiar with, like a Due or a?
I don't know if it has Due support. I know that this is designed for ARM Cortex chips. It should work with the Due. I just don't know specifically if that chip is supported, because I know that we've been using this with the LPC series from NXP. I just haven't used it with an Atmel chip. But you can check the J-Link site to see if that's true. But nearly everything that has JTAG's support built in tends to have support from the J-Link, just because it's one of the most popular JTAG adapters, and it works really great.
Okay. Quick question: does it work with the STM32 and OpenOCD? Do you know?
I don't know offhand.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a really hardcore ARM person. This is actually K-Town's suggestion.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is the best one. I'm like, I haven't really used them. I used one once a long time ago. I do so much of my work with an 8-bit core that I don't really pull out a JTAG emulator or debugger.
If K-Town says it's the best, it's definitely the best.
And this is the EDU version. So the trade-off is it's much lower cost than the classic J-Link, but it cannot be used for commercial purposes. It's meant for people who are learning and experimenting with ARM chips. Not meant for people who are using this at work. It's otherwise equivalent. It's just not. They're hoping, they're saying like, hey, we're doing you a favor. We're going to have this for a lot less.
Yeah.
But we make our money by selling these. So if you're making money from it, please buy the official version.
Home use only.
Yeah, home use only.
This is the one that you keep on your kitchen table, not your Not your workbench at work.
No, it can be a workbench, but it's your at-home workbench.
Home
you can be an
workbench.
official developer, but at home you can use this if you're
Okay.
working on your own projects.
I understand completely. All right, next up, we've got this blinky thing.
Yeah.
So this thing plugs into something and blinks.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to, they didn't bring one for me. Oh no, wait, here it is. Yeah, this is a little kit. It's a mini kit. It's very, very easy. There's only a couple parts. And it's a little USB stick, and it has an AT-Tiny 85, and it's got an LED at the end. You can see it's a super bright LED. And it's basically like a USB controlled LED. You can also actually, remove the LED and connect anything like 3 PWMs out and control a different LED or an LED strip if you wanted.
Okay.
It's just that this is kind of like ready to go.
We'll go to the overhead.
For LED. So,
Oops, I went to the wrong one. There's like 8 of us.
There's 8 of us. Okay. Go.
Camera, go home. You're drunk. Okay.
Okay. So, see, I'm going to adjust this a little bit.
Yeah. Zoom in.
Okay. So yeah, because it's so small.
You want to go? There.
No. You just give it a second. If you get excited, it balks.
You have to scare it. Don't scare
so
the
there's
camera.
a USB connector, and it's a USB plug. You just plug it into any laptop or computer, and it works with Mac, Windows, and Linux, Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
We tried it for sure with Windows. It worked, and we tried it with a Mac for sure, and we got that working too. Pretty sure.
Okay.
And yeah, there's a little chip here, and you solder it together. It's really easy. And then what we really like about this, because this is not like a terribly difficult hardware design, but what's really great is all the software that the author wrote for it. So there's a lot of libraries, example code, tutorials on how to interface this with something you're using already. So that's what we really like, because it's like very easy to make hardware. It's like, okay, it's the LED and it blinks, but then it's like you have to write the software and the example core.
Yeah.
And so that's what you're getting with this project. Is it's very well supported.
Yeah. All right. We're going to go through the next one quick so we have time for some questions. But this is the new board from Parallax. This is the propeller activity board. This is a big deal for Parallax, by the way. This is they're going for it. They're saying this is the board that you're going to use, and you're going to learn cool stuff. And this is going to be their next basic stamp.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is it. This is the thing that they're working on. So I'm going to go to the overhead.
Okay, so this is your board. And here's what's going on with it. There is a propeller chip in the middle. It says Parallax. There's a reset button. There's some power switches. I don't know exactly why there's 2. There's D to A. It is some ST micro digital analog converter, so you can do audio. I guess they have some wave playing code that you can write. There's a micro SD slot up here, and it's underneath a XD socket. There's a 3.3 volt regulator. There are, looks like servo drivers, servo pin, breakout pins up here.
Yeah.
There's an FT232 compatible FTDI chip with a mini USB connector, so you can connect to your propeller and upload code, debug it. And it's got a little area here for prototyping, so it's kind of got everything. Oh, there's also an ADD. So you can, if you want analogs, there's 4 analogs and 4 analog ins and 2 analog outs. That's kind of nice. Handy.
All right. Next up, fabric cable.
Yeah.
What's the right term for this?
This is a fabric ribbon covered.
Yeah.
Ribbon cable.
Super handy if you do wearables and you want to use real wires, but then still.
But it's sewable.
But it's sewable.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. This is
You want to go in the overhead?
Actually, can we look at the photo, because it's hard to see.
Is it better with the photo?
Yeah, so it's fabric. It's a nylon webbing. It's a flexible webbing, and inside the webbing is 4 wires, and they're separated, so they're not floating inside. It's woven into the ribbon, and it's super flexible. And then there's 4 wires, and I think they're 28 gauge. I'm not sure exactly what gauge, but I measured, it says 28, and they're stranded. So the whole thing is really flexible. And they're color-coded wires, and then I'll show it on the overhead.
Okay. It's overhead time. There you go.
Yeah, so it's a soft and flexible wire, but yeah, there's 4 wires that come out, and it comes in 1 yard length. You can kind of barely see maybe the wires sticking out.
Yeah.
And there you go. Maybe this side has it a little bit better. So this is really good if you want to have a long stretch of wiring, but you don't want to use our thread. And then you can stitch over it either on the edges, which is I suggest, or if you're like you want to go fast, you can zigzag over it, and it's totally washable. And the wires are Teflon coated, so they're super flexible and protected.
And it comes in Adafruit black.
Yeah. Yeah, it only comes in this color.
It's the only color. For an hamster.
Or a lack of color.
It's all the colors put together. Strong colors. Alright. Next up. These are the stars of the show right up here today. You were busy.
I was busy?
You were busy. You were on a Cap Touch bender.
Yeah.
I'd wake up and there was just like Cap Touch prototypes everywhere.
Yeah.
Look at this. So what do these do?
You're like, I don't know what they are.
No, I know what they are.
There's two capacitive touch sensors. They're from the same family, the AT42QT10, 1012 family. So they're single button cap touch, and they're microcontroller free. So you touch the pin, and you touch the pad, and a pin goes high or low. That's pretty much all it does.
Normally, you need a microcontroller to do this stuff.
No, but I mean, these you don't. But I'm saying, like, if you want to have more switches or something more complicated.
Yeah.
It's not an unusual type of controller that has a lot more going on, but this is nice because there's no microcontroller. You just kind of use it for whatever. You can integrate it into any project. You can attach this to a power switch tail and have a capacitive touch power switch type thing.
Gotcha. So anytime you have a switch in your project and you want to turn it into a capacitive switch, you could do this.
You just plug this in.
Gotcha.
And there's like no effort. You don't have to worry about timing or analog digital conversions or whatever. It just works. And it works with anything because it's just digital output. And it runs from 2 to 5 volts. And we did a really nice job here. We have a nice pad which you can touch. There's 4 mounting holes, so you can just use it as is. And it'll work with up to like a couple millimeters, 3 or 4 millimeters of material in between. You'll have to experiment with the material. But it's fairly sensitive, but not so sensitive that it goes off all the time. There's also a reverse mount LED that'll let you know when it's activated. And they're both fairly low power, and there's 2 types. One is an on-off momentary, and one is an on-off toggle.
Okay.
So I'll show both of those on the overhead.
Okay, let's go to the overhead. And then after that, we're going to do open questions.
Okay.
It's the last one.
So.
Oh, by the way, the model for the RFID breakout board, Chris uploaded to Thingiverse and just posted in the thing.
Okay. So yeah, these are the 2 different designs, and this one over here on the left is the momentary. So when you touch it, it turns on. That's pretty much it. Very simple. And then this one on the right here or top is the toggle. So when I touch it, it turns on, and I touch it, it turns off again. So this is good for when you're like, well, I want to touch it to activate, and then I want to touch it again to deactivate. Whereas this one is only active when you touch it. So this is momentary, and this is toggle. So that's it. That's my demo. I can do this all day.
It's a good demo. Okay. And with that, that's new products this week, Lady Ada. Zoom. Okay. All right. All the stuff that's in stock that everyone saw, 10% off.
Yeah.
10% off. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Okay. Open questions. Ask an engineer.
It's time.
Ask Lady Ada questions. Colin is here. I'll say hello to Colin. He endorses this board. Okay. Any suggestions for harvesting energy from an electric fence for a wireless sensor network?
I don't know what voltage or electric fence are at, but it's probably something fairly high.
Charge some super caps.
I don't know. I don't know how possible you could use a transformer if it's AC. It's probably AC, right? I mean, I imagine it must be you could use a transformer that can handle high voltage, but I just don't know. I don't know what the voltage rating is. You
Okay.
just like tie into it.
Next up, looking for backlight supplies. Any thought sources, items for hardware to create my own low power backlight? I'm looking for LEDs that I know you carry, diffuser panels. Diffusion is the main issue. Anything you carry that you would recommend?
There's nothing really. It's really hard to get diffuser panels that aren't already built into something. I would actually just like buy some broken stuff off eBay and harvest the diffusers from there.
Okay. Next up, are we going to put up the capacitive touch board schematics.
Yeah, we just put this in the store yesterday.
Yeah, it just went up in the store
We're gonna
yesterday.
do the tutorial. When you do the tutorial, we link the files from it.
Next up, Lamore, how do you work on a project and not get distracted with all the admin stuff you got to do for the company? How do you turn off all the distractions at your desk?
I don't. I work on all that stuff all the time while I'm also working on projects.
Here you go. Next up, how do you apply a job for Adafruit Industries? Well, we don't have any job openings now. Kind of what we do is...
I know, we didn't talk about the pliers.
What? What about them?
We forgot the pliers.
That was a new product?
Yeah.
I didn't see that in the new product list.
It's here on my desk.
Okay.
We have these awesome pliers. They're great.
Pliers. Anyways, we don't have any job openings now, but when we do, we'll post them on our site for folks to apply to. Generally speaking, if you show up with amazing projects on the show and tell, or do amazing work, we might find you. We might find you. We kind of make jobs sometimes, because we know that people are going to be awesome at it. All right. Next up, how did you get on the presidential hangout? Did the White House approach you, or did they solicit volunteers for the public? I can tell you this story. I got a text on my phone that said, White House calling, Lady Ada, could she be on with Google?
Yeah, we didn't apply at all.
Yeah, they texted my phone. Lady Ada doesn't have a phone, and they someone at Google knew me, and they were trying to get a hold of Lady Ada, and we kind of had to drop everything. And they said, are you guys cool with background checks and all that? And we said, yeah, sure. And they did it, and it was a process to get it going, and we spent like 2 weeks on it, and that's how it went. Okay, next up, has Lady Ada tried Google Glass? What do you think the visual portion could be replicated?
I've never used it. I have no idea what it's like. They won't send me one.
Yeah, they won't send us one because we're going to take it apart and tell everybody its secrets. Next up, can Arduino control RS-485?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can you please put a chronological sort for the learning system? Oh, that's interesting. So when we
it is chronologically sorted.
No, I think they mean something else. A chronological sort, the only drawback I could see is having the hunt and get confused from the new ones. They mean what's the latest one on the site. That is on the front page now, but I think they mean for the other sections. Because like the Arduino tutorial or the Raspberry Pi.
I'm pretty sure it's all of them chronologically.
No, you can arrange them. I think I know what they're asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
By default, the learning system is chronological. They are in order of when they went live.
Yeah. Next up. Yeah, someone mentioned we do have an Adafruit jobs board. We use the job board when we want to find people. Is the Blink Stick similar to the Blink One?
I don't know. I just saw this project and I thought it was really cool. I've seen a bunch of USB LED projects, but I like this one. It's a kit. I think that's probably the biggest difference.
Next up, is Adafruit associated to Maker Media? No.
No.
They're
We're friends.
They're a distributor of ours. They're friends.
We've had drinks with them.
Yeah.
We've known them for like 6 years.
Yeah. I think I'm permanently on the masthead as an editor at large. So I used to be senior editor at Make. And
but that was at Make, not at Maker Media.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not part of it anymore.
I don't think you're part of Maker Media.
Yeah.
It's a totally different company.
Yeah. I think for the magazine, I think I'm still listening there. You can see like
I was on the Make advisory board, but like
my billion-y post.
I haven't been called in like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, well, I think they were doing the advisory board in the early stages.
Yeah.
But that might be a good thing for them to revisit.
Yeah.
It's a big maker world now.
I haven't advised in a very long time.
Yeah. Next up. You guys look tired. Will you be able to sleep soon? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're gonna go sleep right after.
Yeah. Let's see. Would Lady Ada like to make a phone using the Arduino GSM Shield and a number or letter pad? We're actually gonna do something else, but yeah, we're gonna make a phone-like thing.
Arduino phone.
We are gonna make a phone-like thing. We have some ideas that I think you guys are gonna like.
Yeah.
Next up, are you getting inquiries from designers for Flora? Yeah, we're actually getting talked to a lot. Becky's gonna be on some video stuff soon. People are contacting us. Some fabric company really wants to do stuff with our pixels. A shoe company.
Yeah.
There's always someone contacting us. Mattel contacted us.
Yeah.
There's lots of stuff. It's going on. Let's see. What do you think about the Spark Core? Oh, the Kickstarter.
I haven't checked it on
yeah, we haven't checked it out.
I've been super busy this week.
All right.
Because it's like most Kickstarters. I'm like, I'll just wait till it's done and then I'll get it. Because I'm like, no, I'm not gonna have time to check it out anyways.
And then 2 quick questions. Will you ever put a tutorial on how to build a cell phone? Well, since we put up on how to build a cell phone jammer, I would say it's very possible. And then last up, any idea on the Gemma release? Yeah, we're working on it.
I'm working on it.
Working on it.
It's gonna be awesome.
Good things take time, but I know for a fact it's gonna come out, and you guys are gonna love it.
There's 2 types of people.
Yeah.
People who love Gemma and people who haven't used it yet.
Okay, they want one real quick question. Will you ever get into any more FPGA products?
I really like the ones we have right now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I think we're done.
Yeah. All right.
It's 11.
It's time to do. Thank you, everybody. Those are all great questions. It's time to do the trivia question. Trivia question. Lady Ada, what are the rules?
The rules are you can't enter this contest if you won something before. Only one winner per lifetime. Whoever answers it correctly with spelling in the chat first wins the prize. What's the prize today?
The prize tonight is a propeller activity board.
Propeller activity board!
Yeah.
This propeller activity board could be yours.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
All right. You guys ready for the question?
Yes.
Type it into the chat. What days, and I want the number dates, is Maker Faire New York this year? It's 2 days in September. Type the 2 days that it is into the chat. And the first person I see with the 2 correct dates wins. TM Bates 12, September 21st and 22nd. Congratulations. Chris, good attempt with the star date. I like your style. But
who said September?
That's right there. TM Bates 12, email support@adafruit.com.
Okay, that's like barely.
Oh, I told
speaking.
SP 2122.
Okay.
Totally know what that is.
All right.
Anything else? I wouldn't let it go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Email support@adafruit.com. I can't talk. Yeah, I'm dying.
Okay.
And we'll send you out a propeller board.
Okay. You got allergies.
No, I'm just tired. I've got nothing
We're
left.
allergic to life.
I'm just empty.
All right. Well, let's go.
All right. We're going to head out. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you to all our friends who joined in. Thanks Becky, George, and Colin. Some Adafruit folks showed up. Thanks for all our folks out there. Thanks to all the folks who came on the show and tell. And we will see you next week. We'll have some fun new products, fun new things.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I'm so excited. Hanging out with Colin. We're working on the next episode of Circuit Playground.
Yeah.
And if you've ever looked at the coloring book, it's pretty easy to guess which one is next. A was for ampere.
Yeah.
B is for battery. And this is gonna be cool.
That's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be cool. We're gonna teach kids about what a battery is.
Okay.
It's very hard. By the way, batteries are like they're in everything, but it's kind of a weird concept how it works. And we'll be talking about that soon.
Okay. Let's go.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, MOSFET. Here's a picture of a cat. We always have to show a picture of a cat, sort of thing.
Okay.
Here is your moment of Zener.